Good morning, and it is a great morning in Tennessee. Governor-elect Lee, welcome to your new office building. It is a really cool place to work, and you are going to love it. Chrissy and I were really pleased to welcome Bill and Maria to the Capitol this morning. We're really here for two purposes. One is to congratulate Bill on a historic victory, and second, to begin the conversation about a transition. I spent last night in Washington at the RGA headquarters, and when the results came in about Tennessee, one of the folks who worked there said, "How does he do that?" And if you think about it, Bill came through a very competitive primary and won going away in a race that nobody thought that he would win. And then in a general election campaign against a formidable, very worthy, accomplished opponent in Mayor Carl Dean, he won by 20 points. And so when the question was asked, how does he do it? I said, well, here's the way that Bill and Maria have done that. Number one, they have won by being relentlessly positive. It would be hard to find any campaign anywhere that has run the kind of campaign that Bill and Maria have. Number two, they have won it by being everywhere. If you happen to have followed them on any social media, I don't know how their bus is still making it, and I don't know how they're still have their eyes open. They have literally been all over this great state, and that will prepare both of them to really excel even more in this role. And then the third way that they've done it is they have been themselves. You get in trouble in this business when you try to wear someone else's clothes. And with Bill and Maria, what you see is what you get. And the state of Tennessee is going to be very, very fortunate to have both of them leading us in the next 8 years. You know, this is the first time in 52 years that we've had the same party win back-to-back governor elections. It hasn't happened in 52 years, which is amazing. And it's been, if my records are correct, and the Secretary of State might be able to correct me, but it's been about 150 years, and it only happened one time before, since there have been Republicans who served back-to-back. Because we are really excited about giving the steering wheel to Bill and his team, and our whole team feels that way, we are committed to making this the best transition in the history of the state of Tennessee. Every department has already completed what we call a continuity of state operations book that they are ready to hand to their successor. We are ready to begin immediately on budget items. Governor-elect Lee and I just spoke, and the difficult part of this is you come into this new job and the legislature gives you a little break of when the budget has to come in, so instead of being February 1, maybe it's March 1, but you still have a lot of work to do quick, and we are committed to sitting down beginning tomorrow with their team, or today if they want, to make certain that that process happens. There's nothing that's more important in state operations than getting the budget right, and I know Governor-elect Lee and his team will do that. The third thing is all of our commissioners know that their highest priority now is to help the Lee team as they transition to leading this great state. So with that, please help me welcome, and I can tell how you feel by the way you reacted when he walked in the room, the 50th governor of the state of Tennessee, Bill Lee. Thank you very much for that, and thank you for that introduction. You can imagine that for me, this is an overwhelming feeling to drive up this hill and to walk into this building is quite humbling. It's quite an honor. It feels very historic. Certainly in my life, it is probably one of the most profound days of my entire life, and I appreciate your
generosity in welcoming me and Maria. And I do have to acknowledge my wife, Maria, who has relentlessly supported me. And as I said last night in my acceptance speech, she has shown me every day what it means to love with all of your heart and your strength and your spirit and your mind, and she has certainly done that for me. And what's really good news is she will do that for the people of Tennessee as well. And and she has had a good role model. And Chrissy and Bill just personally have been so generous to us and have reached out in ways and have shown us and reminded us, Chrissy, you in particular with reaching out to Maria, reminded us of how much you love Tennesseans and how much you hold this job in high regard, and you have done a remarkable job of that. You sort of set the course for what a First Lady should do in this state, and it's a great honor, I know, for following in your footsteps. And as a leader, I've said so many times on this campaign trail, there has been a foundation laid for the next governor to build upon that is remarkably a strong foundation, a firm foundation. You have been a remarkable leader for this state, and you're loved by the people of Tennessee. You know that, and I hope that I can be as successful and be as appreciated by the people of Tennessee when I'm done as is the case for you. And I am deeply grateful for the work that not only that you have done to create a foundation, to set this state on the course that it's been set. We are a leader in this country in many ways already. I look forward to building on that, but I couldn't be more grateful for the position that is laid out before me because of the work that's been done in advance. So thank you very much, Governor, for what you have done. The last thing I'll say about that is there's a reason that this state has elected back-to-back Republican governors, and it's because the one that we've had has done such a remarkable job that that state wants that to continue. Maria and I have been crisscrossed all over the state, back and forth and back and forth. And I've said and by the way, the RV, it is still running. It's barely still running. But we were kind of glad to get off it the last time yesterday. We drove it to vote yesterday and pulled into my old school in that RV, but we were glad to get off of it. But I'll tell you this. My family first came to Tennessee in 1796, and my family's been longtime Tennesseans. I've certainly lived here all of my life, and I've always loved this state. But when you get to travel to all 95 counties multiple times, and when you meet tens of thousands of Tennesseans from all walks of life, you fall in love with this state in ways that you never could have before. And that is certainly the truth for me. I thought I wanted to serve when I started this endeavor. I'm more inspired and more excited about serving today, now that I know what I know about Tennessee, than I ever was before. And I said last night that I want to be a governor for every Tennessean. And I want to wake up every single morning thinking about how it is that I can use my life in a way and lead in a way that will positively impact every single Tennessean. And that's my commitment to you, and that's my commitment to Tennessee. We have a lot of work to do. That was running a campaign is something I'd never done before in my whole life, running for office. Now I feel a little bit like an expert. But that's behind us. That phase of this journey for us is over. and now we have much work to do. And I'm excited. People have asked me, you know, are you overwhelmed now that this has occurred? I'm not overwhelmed. I'm excited. I'm excited about the work that is to be done. I'm excited about the strategies that we want to lay out, about the execution that lays before us. I'm excited about building a team and assembling a team that will carry out the things that I believe will, in fact, take Tennessee from the place where she is right now and take it to the next level. I am ready to go to work. We have clear and defined ideas about where we want to go. But one of the reasons this is going to be easy to do is because of the work and the preparation that has been done to make this transition for us easy, to work with Governor Haslam and his team, who have worked very hard to make what we're about to be a part of, to make that go smoothly. And so I look forward to the opportunity to do that. Thank you very much for today.
I got to tell you one story about their campaign motorhome. About a month ago, I'm driving down I-65, and Bill had told me that, hey, this thing's kind of on its last legs. We're hoping it'll make it to November 6th. And I see it pulled over in the grass on I-65, and I'm like, oh, darn, they didn't. And so I called Bill and said, sorry, did the bus finally die? And he goes, well, I don't think so. I'm not on it. Let me check. And so he texts us and calls back, and he says, my driver said, dang, can a guy not even stop to go to the bathroom without getting busted by the governor? Hey, we're going to take some questions from up front. We have a Veterans Memorial Service upstairs in a few minutes, but in the meantime, we'd be glad to. Chris.
Is this day a little bit like being the student?
You know, actually, it's funny. Certain days you remember very clearly. I can remember standing here with Governor Bredesen doing this 8 years ago as vividly as it was yesterday. I did. Well, I felt that way. But I also felt like Bill does. You spent the better part of 2 years running for this job, and now you're ready to do it. And you realize there's a lot you don't know. So you begin surrounding yourself with great people. And we've had a lot of those conversations. I think one of the things I appreciate about Bill is he understands this job is about building a great group of people. You are not the governor by yourself, period. And it's about getting great folks, and they get that.
Well, I certainly feel like I have a lot to learn, but I feel like I've been prepared to step into this class and start from day one prepared. Very excited. Yes. You know, we haven't, I've worked really hard to stay focused on the election, to be honest with you, and we have not begun the process, but we're actually beginning it today. As soon as we leave here, our team will start to sit down and talk about specifics of transition, what that timeline is going to look like. Clearly, we're immediately starting that process, and we will immediately begin to interview and talk to current commissioners and begin to consider what those positions will look like. So those conversations will start today. Well, I've talked on the campaign trail extensively about my belief that we need to strengthen vocational technical education. We're going to look at real plans for that. We have talked a great deal about lowering the recidivism rate by looking at criminal justice reform, sentencing reform, reentry programs. We'll certainly explore those. And we've looked at job creation and economic development, particularly in the rural communities and those that are struggling. And if we have 15 distressed counties, we want to look at policies that will strengthen and help those communities. And then we want to begin to look at how it is that we immediately address the escalating rising costs of health care. Those are things that we will develop clear strategies on going forward from day one. That will begin as well right now. We're set to meet just this week about specifics and how to structure the company in a way that is that's clear and transparent, but that also provides for there to be no conflicts of interest going forward. That'll be our plan, and we start that this week. Yeah, every Tennessean deserves to have access to quality health care they can afford. And the way that, and being able to afford it is what gives access. And the way to do that is to address the rising costs, and we'll start day one with plans to do that. We'll be having specifics on that come forward.
You talked about streamlining state government in the campaign, noting that Kentucky has 11 departments, Tennessee is 23. Which departments are you planning on cutting?
I haven't made any plans on that. We've just talked about the fact that streamlining and running an efficient state government is very important, and so we'll begin looking at opportunities and ways to do that as well.
I'm going to be the bad guy because we got to go upstairs. But maybe one more question. Yes, sir.
As for you, Dr. Haslam, what advice would you give somebody who comes from a business background, not a legislative background, on how to work with the state governments and police?
Yeah, I'd say there's a couple of things that come from your business background that are really helpful. Understanding budgets and that's the fundamental foundation is incredibly helpful, and Bill knows that. Number two, building a team, and Bill's done that in the Lee Company. The thing that's different about government is there are so many different points of power. You have a legislature, you have constitutional officers, you have different committees and boards, and so I tell people all the time, you're governor, you're not the king. And you need to realize that government doesn't work exactly like business does, where there's a CEO and a board of directors and they're all aligned with the same vision. Again, you have 132 members of the legislature. They've all run for their own reason. They've all been democratically elected, and that's part of the process. And that's probably the most fundamental difference. All right, thank you all for coming. Again, I want to congratulate you. You shouldn't underestimate what Bill and Maria have done. To win by 20 points in a race, like I said, with a very good opponent. Carl Dean, we all recognize, is a good man, as you said in the campaign. This was a real campaign, and Bill won decisively, just like he did in a very tough primary. And this is a really good as well as historic day for the state of Tennessee. Congratulations, Bill and Maria, and we look forward to helping you in every way we can. Thank you.